with Chris Alberts from Pawsitive Vibes, and she is also a sponsor for the Battle by the River Rodeo that's going on this coming weekend. So, Chris, let's talk about Pawsitive Vibes and our little friend Sushi here.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so what is Pawsitive Vibes and what do you offer different people?
Okay. So, Pawsitive Vibes, I actually started it in March of 2021. I really want to do something by myself, for myself, do what I love. I love working with animals. And so I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew it needed to have animals, and I needed to do something with animals.
Uh-huh.
And so I basically just started grooming. Long story short, I started grooming kind of on the side, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I could do this as a business. So I ended up going on my own. That was a little bit, I was working for someone at the time. Went on my own and started grooming mainly. And then people just started calling me up. They knew I loved animals. They started calling me up with like wildlife questions, wildlife issues. And so I kind of added that to my genre of things that I offer. So not only do we mainly groom, but we also work with wildlife rehabilitators. We help out wildlife any way we can. Anything and everything that has to do with animals, I do it. You name it. I have groomed anything from wallabies to cows to horses, squirrels, pigs, cats, dogs, everything in between. So,
Oh, wow.
a little bit everything.
So how did you get sushi? And what made you want to get sushi?
So, I am 30 years old, and 2 of those decades that I've been alive, I've really wanted a skunk.
Okay.
And I didn't know actually how possible it was. Every state is different. And I have lived in 3 different states. And then when I got to Iowa, it was kind of, it was quite a while ago, and I kind of put on the back burner. And of course, I was younger then, and so I kind of forgot about it. Well, moving forward, I've had my hands on a couple skunks with rehabilitation. And so my love and my want for one came back. And so jumping forward to September of 2024, I was talking to a client of mine, and she was telling me how they're going to move, they're going to get more animals, and they really want a skunk. And I was like, oh my gosh, let's talk about skunks. She basically, she hooked me up with this really amazing breeder in Guttenberg, Iowa. And I was like, I need to go to this woman as soon as possible. So just a couple days after her and I had chatted, my client and I went to Guttenberg just to check them out, just to see what they have. And this little guy, Mr. Sushi, was one of the last of his litter that just hadn't gotten sold yet. And so I was looking at him, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like his little face, like he was just sitting there in his little kennel with his 2 other siblings, and I just was like, that little face. And so she picks him up and gives him to me, and I'm just like, I can't wait. I can't wait till her next litter. I'm going to get a 4-month-old, and I'm going to bring him home.
That is awesome.
So I finally got my skunk.
Does he live in your house or does he live outside?
So he has his very own house.
Okay.
So he has his very own house. It's probably about the space of this little area here. Mm-hmm. He has his own ferret. He has a pet ferret.
Okay. And they get along well together?
They get along amazing. So skunks and ferrets are both in the weasel family, so they're distantly related. And I didn't want to get another skunk. So I was like, well, here you go, buddy. This is better than nothing. And he loves them. They love each other. Going back to the house, so he has his own little house. It's heated in the winter, has AC in the summer, fully insulated. He's a pretty spoiled guy, and I think he kind of knows it.
Then do you take him to different people or events or schools? How do you get sushi out?
Yeah. So I am in the process of, I would really like to do a nonprofit organization that has to do with helping people / therapy / educating people about skunks because they're a very misunderstood animal, to be honest. I started kind of small. So when I got him, I was like, oh my gosh, he's amazing. I need to share him. So I ended up taking him, one of his first bigger events he did, I guess you can call it. We went to Mid Prairie School. Okay. And I was able to teach the children there about skunks, and they were able to get pictures and learn and ask questions and all that fun stuff. And so now we've kind of graduated a little bit. Not only do I want to take him to more schools and educate, but he's also gone to some police departments so far. He's gone to some fire departments. One of my big things that I would love to do with him is just take him around to our local heroes and our veterans and you know, just let them love on him and kind of give back in my own way if I can. Sure. And so, yeah.
He's so comfy sitting
He's so comfy.
What does he eat?
Skunks are omnivores. So a pet skunk, you can put them on like a good dog food if you want. Okay. But I prefer not to. I wanted to get as close to nature as possible for him. So since they're omnivores, I put him on a raw diet. So he eats a little bit of everything. He eats raw vegetables, raw meat, bone in. Contrary to popular belief, generally most animals can actually eat raw bones. People don't really know that. It's the cooked bones you want to be careful with because those can splinter. But yeah, so raw chicken, raw egg. He loves mealworms, dried mealworms. He loves Greek yogurt. He can have a little bit of fruit, but skunks are prone to diabetes, so we have to be careful with that. And he is on a diet. He's a little thick.
Really? I would think that they would get bigger.
Because they're in the weasel family, they have a different shaped body. You can kind of see how he has a little head, and then it kind of gets a little bit bigger, and then when down to his body, he's wider. So they kind of have a bowling pin shape to their bodies. And skunks can vary in size depending on the type of skunk. He is just a North American striped skunk, so this is his full size. They reach full growth at 3 months. He is 9 months. And so he shouldn't be as white as he is, but that's okay. We're making do with what we got.
Your Pawsitive Vibes, if people want to get a hold of you for grooming,
yeah.
How can they get a hold of you?
So they can get a hold of me through my social media. I am on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. They can get a hold of me through email. My phone number and all of that is on my pages.
So farmers.
Yes.
We get a little agitated with wildlife sometimes.
Yes.
And you said that you and your husband grew up on a farm, live on a farm.
Yes.
Sometimes people look at these as pests. Like how did you cross that barrier with it as a pet?
Absolutely. Okay. Great question. So for me, I look at even the most peskiest animals as pets. And it was really not, my husband looks at animals similar. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it wasn't it wasn't hard to make the decision. There wasn't much of an argument there, just because of where we come from and how we view animals. When it comes to skunks, for example, you know, they dig the ground. You know, they'll make their little they'll make, you know, problems for farmers. You know, there's so few. There's not very many around our place anymore because a lot of them have gotten trapped or shot or whatever. And I feel like as long as, in my opinion, as long as we can work together with the animals in a way that we can both live happily, we can farm, and we can also, the wild animals can do their thing, which can be really, really hard, you know? And you have had experience with that as well. So I think it's just one of those, yeah.
Well, you don't see skunks. We don't see skunks. We see raccoons and deer.
Yep.
Sometimes they look cute. Raccoons look cute, but they're
Yes.
just little trash pandas.
For sure.
And I don't know if I could handle taking that leap of faith of having one as a pet.
Yes. So skunks actually are, a lot of people who want skunks have either thought about wanting a raccoon and vice versa. And I feel like there is a very, very big difference between an actual domesticated raccoon for a pet and an actual domesticated skunk for a pet. So raccoons haven't been domesticated as long as skunks.
Okay.
Skunks have been domesticated now for about 60 years, I want to say, and skunks are not that, or raccoons have not been domesticated that long. So the difference is raccoons are gonna, even the most domesticated one has a tendency they could turn on their owners, even if they're the sweetest thing, like that instinct just comes out. Skunks, however, because they've been domesticated so long, they're less likely in general. They are one of the most affectionate animals on the planet. I have had easily 50 different types of species of animals as pets or helped them or had experience. He is by far, hands down, the best pet I've ever had.
Well, he's falling asleep in your arms. He's such a cuddle bug.
He's such a cuddle bug. Like, they are so affectionate. Even the ones in the wild are affectionate. Like, they get a bad rap because they spray,
Right.
and rightly so. But what a lot of people don't realize is skunks are going to spray last resort. They're not going to. They are not fighters. They will fight if they have to, but they're going to run and they're going to try to do other things before they fight. They're going to try to fluff their tail up and stomp and scare the predator that's trying to get to them. They are such a sweet animal, though, in general. They love that attention. They love that camaraderie from others and animals. Even in the wild, people have found that skunks will actually share dens with like groundhogs.
Oh, really?
And such, and so yeah, so they love to have that companionship, and that's why he has a pet ferret.
What are your big goals with sushi and Pawsitive Vibes?
Yeah,
like to get out there.
Yeah, I just want people to, learn to appreciate animals the way that they need to be appreciated, and I want to do that by any way I can, whether it's grooming an animal and telling their dog mom or whatever, like, they did so good, like, you really have a good one here, like, from anywhere from encouraging that way to like even wildlife, even opossums, like just showing people animals are amazing. They're such a cool, like, even the ones that are kind of not so pretty looking, they all have a purpose in life, just like we all do.
Right.
And I think my goal with my business is just, I just want to change the world and one heart and mind at a time. No, I'm kidding. But I want people to just enjoy the way, like, just
have a respect for nature.
Yes, absolutely.
A love and respect for nature.
Absolutely. A love and respect for nature. Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
My goals with Mr. Sushi. So, he is such an amazing animal, and I've only had him for, since September. I just, when I first got him, and like, I just fell in love immediately. And the research that I've done about skunks and that I continue to do, it's just amazing. Like, every little thing about them is so cool. And I want to not only educate people, but like I said earlier, like, I want to share his little cute self with everyone. And I just want them to be able to experience an animal that they don't normally, experience on a day-to-day basis. Right. And I would love to do some therapy work with him. You can see he just kind of lays there. And so it would be really cool to be able to offer that. we were at a fire department recently, and one of the fire chiefs was, he also does counseling and stuff on the side. And he was like, hey, that'd be really cool to, you know, have him in there for some of these people who are needing that emotional support, you know, like basically he would do what a dog does, but better because he's different.
And you have a little leash on him.
Yes, I have a little harness.
Does he just walk around, or do you carry him, or?
So in general, I will carry him, because if I were to put him down right now, like he would get a little like, oh my gosh, this isn't my home. Like, where the heck am I?
Right.
And so generally when he's out in public, I'll hold him.
Okay.
He does go on walks. He loves walking. I'll put his little leash on, and he just, we have a couple acres of back country, so we'll go on walks. Oh, he just loves that. He loves to dig in and stiffen, and we have farm cats, so they'll all go walking on, you know,
Really?
walking together. And
Does he get along well with the
he
farm
does.
cats?
He does. So skunks can learn to get along really well with other household animals as well as pets you have outdoors. He does great with everyone. We have chickens, horses, dog, cats, and he has no issues with any of them. So.
Hold him or no?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay,
so I'm gonna pass him over to you. So generally, how I like for people to hold him, just so more for picture's sakes. But if you're just holding him, generally hold him like a furry fat football. That's how I would. That's how I would say to hold him.
Oh my goodness. Hi, Sushi. And I'm not a big pet person, so.
But she's a skunk person now.
Who can say that they've held a skunk?
I know,
Not
right?
many.
No, not many.
Well, and the girls yesterday at Tyson's were like, I want a skunk.
Yeah.
And they were asking about, do you take them to Tyson's?
I do. I sure do. You know, to the people who say they want skunks, I think that's amazing. Like, good for them. However, as a skunk mom myself now, I honestly don't recommend them to just anyone because of how high maintenance they are. And when I say high maintenance, it's a lot of it is emotional. So they're a very emotional creature. They can sense 10 times more than a dog. And so they pick up a lot of things. And that's one of the reasons why I want him to be a therapy animal. But they are just, they need a lot of attention. And in order for them to live a long, healthy life, they need a proper diet. You have to raise them properly, handle them often so that you get this. Skunks, as sweet and affectionate as they can be, if they aren't raised properly or with enough attention, they can be a little aggressive just because they're like, you know, they can be a flighty animal. But this is how a skunk is. If you handle them constantly, you take care of them, you love them, you socialize them. And so it can get to be very time consuming, but it's so worth it in the end. He's literally falling asleep. His eyes are closed.
I've never had the opportunity to hold a skunk.
And he doesn't, what do you think he smells like? He doesn't smell.
He doesn't.
He has a gentle musk.
Yeah.
But it's very, very slight.
Yeah.
He doesn't smell like an actual skunk.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. If you want to hold a skunk, you really need to contact Pawsitive Vibes. Oh, I got a little tense. Yes, you need to look up Pawsitive Vibes on different social medias and see where Sushi's going to go next.
Absolutely. And if you know, like she said, if you want to pet him, hang out with him, hit us up. We'll make something happen for you.
Or even bring him to your event.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if you have kids, you know, who want to do something at school, you know, we can bring him to something at school, to an event. Daycares, we go to daycares. Kids just love him, and he's great with kids. He doesn't. Yeah, he's amazing. He's fully descented. He doesn't bite any of that stuff, so he's good there. He's vaccinated, all that good stuff.
Thank you, Chris, for bringing
Absolutely.
Sushi by
I'm
and
so
letting me
happy.
show him to everyone too. And where are you going to be next weekend?
We are going to be at the rodeo, at the Wild Horse Productions Rodeo. I'm so excited, and who knows? Maybe, if we're lucky, Mr. Sushi might be there.
I hope Sushi gets excited and he wants to come hang out with us at the rodeo.
Yes. This is him being excited. This is probably his.
That's all right. Okay, so everybody send good vibes our way so that Sushi can come
Positive
to the rodeo.
vibes. Those positive vibes.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Yes. Thank you for having me.